The big finale, the national championship game. Florida, Houston, Gators, Cougars, Carter, Greg, Dion, Sleepers. Where's JK? Welcome to your national championship game preview.
Wow, it's great. Thank you. It
Thank you. Your hands are very soft.
was really nice. Did anyone think this would be the matchup?
No, 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 no. We had a preview recorded actually for Duke in Florida, and we had to delete it.
Sick, we had to work today. Yeah. So okay, is that gonna be a part of this, do you think? Like doing the recaps right now, it's still like the thrill of, oh my God, Duke lost. That was crazy. And then we're gonna get to the game Monday night. Are we gonna feel the sting at all that this is Florida, Houston, and not a different matchup?
A little bit, yes. I think anyone that says no is lying.
I think it's underwhelming, the matchups, but I will say Houston's involvement, I think, is going to save it. I think if we got, and obviously this isn't possible, but if we hypothetically got Florida Auburn in the national championship, that would have been probably the worst case scenario from an in arena experience.
Yeah, to make a comparison that someone on this panel was making this morning when I woke up, this is like getting Brecky Hill when you could have maybe gotten Livy Dunn.
Hey, Brecky.
I want to make it unequivocally clear that I was not the member on this board that made that comment.
Listen, I will make it unequivocally clear, Brecky. I was. So, hey, you didn't respond to my DM. It's all good. I'll try again.
So I don't mean to disrespect anybody. I'm such a bad host by starting with, do we care about this game? When it's 2-1 seeds. Obviously, we care about this game. Houston is the hometown team. The crowd's going to be insane. Kelvin Sampson deserves this moment. Everybody on this team deserves this moment. This has been, I think, the best program in college hoops for 5 years, which is crazy because Dan Hurley exists. And as long as he's alive, you can't call somebody else the best program. But if we're being honest about it, in a 5-year window, Houston has been the healthier basketball program across all games. But you get defined by what happens in March. And Kelvin Sampson has a chance to completely rewrite his legacy by winning this game. Meanwhile, Todd Golden is like this newborn little puppy who can't keep his fingers to himself. And he just sorry, I was supposed to be an Instagram joke, but I realized it got darker than that. Um, but Todd Golden can like get way ahead of schedule, right? He's not supposed to be here this early.
No, he definitely is not. And look, I think along the way, a lot of people have been like, "Oh, well, Houston, what were they in the American before they went to the Big 12?"
Yes.
Or was that what yeah, they're like, "Oh, they're gonna go to the Big 12. That shit's not gonna work," basically. And they win the Big 12 back-to-back years. They're dominant this year. To quote Kelvin Sampson, I think he said something last night along the lines of Duke this, Duke that. I heard all that. We were 34-3. Also, Duke plays in a toy poodle league. I think this Houston team
Not
knows.
everybody gets to play Iowa State. You're right, Kelvin.
I mean, he was he not right?
Iowa State tough, man.
Was he not right?
Iowa State's
There's no
tough,
way you're
dog.
doing this, man.
I think Kelvin
ACC
trying to
this
make this
year.
about the league when you were outplayed for 39 and a half minutes is crazy.
Well, but
You led for 10
okay, but the
seconds.
point that he made out of
It's a
it though,
shitty point.
no, it was a good point actually because I think that he made the point that they were in those moments. I feel like they did the little things, the tough things that I don't necessarily think that Duke did in that game to kind of pull it out.
Like get Cooper Flag called for an over the
No,
back
like
foul.
no,
That's the
like
tough thing.
no, like turn it over, make free throws. They did tough little things.
They made free throws.
They did little. They did. I thought they
Okay.
did the little
I
things.
don't think they did that because they were in the Big 12.
You all right? We're gonna do the rest of this preview. You got to get over that Houston's here. You are
But the
letting
thing
it seep in.
coming in all season, have I not been like a Houston defender?
Yeah,
I've kind of been a Houston guy.
So let's rock out.
I don't like the way Houston is trying to proposition this. They're not here because they're in the Big 12. They're here because they're Houston. They could still be in the American and they would still be here. They're dogs. They deserve this. But like, I feel like they're just completely flipping this mentally. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, you've got Todd Golden, who's trying to do something a little bit early. But let's be honest, Todd Golden doing things before he's supposed to has never been a problem for Todd Golden. So I think he's probably going to be okay here.
You're special.
Special.
I'll just say it.
I don't think Florida is going to fear the moment in any way, and I think Houston might. and that's going to be
Ooh,
it.
talk to me more on that.
So I think did we mention this in the recap, or are we talking off camera about it? But Houston won the game they weren't supposed to win, and now you flip it, and all the pressure's on you. The Florida crowd I thought was okay, but of the four teams, I thought Florida had the worst crowd out of the four teams, like by far. Houston Duke was rocking start to finish. Auburn showed up. The AU after the free throws is fire. But Florida fans, like I didn't really feel like they were okay, but it wasn't like a crazy big performance. Houston fans are going to put on a special performance in that gym, and I feel like all the pressure is going to be on Houston. And Walter Clayton, excuse me, is going to come out, have nothing to lose, and that's a dangerous dude to have nothing to lose with.
That's why I can't get there with Walter. How many times have we called Kemba Walker Cremba Walker? Like, you just wouldn't botch a name of a great.
That's fair. I'm stepping in. That's a Dion
Walter
thing.
Creighton.
That's a Dion thing, and I'm pissed he did that too.
Well, it's not a me thing with the greats because I call Jeremy Jeremiah. I get the great one correct out of the brothers.
It's true.
Walter Clayton's put on one of the greatest guard performances of all time, and y'all can't get past it because his name's Walter.
Yeah, honestly, that's a problem for me
Walter
because
Jr.
you're going up against a guy named Tugler. Special.
JoJo.
JoJo versus Walter. Whose side do you want to be on in that?
They got Elijah.
Can Houston win this game if Walter Clayton is great?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just because I think that Houston can. I don't know. I'm just never going to say Houston can't do it because they did it against Duke. Like, I feel like everyone thought they were going to lose that game.
But we came out of that saying Flag wasn't great.
Some people.
This guy.
Some people said, I mean, you said Flag was good.
I thought Flag was great. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they can.
Walter hits the shot, Flag miss.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Simple as that.
I agree.
Yeah. No, but
and like Walter, great Walter's what, 30?
Yeah.
So if Walter gets 30, you think Houston can still win?
Mm-hmm.
That's like 50% of the points Houston's going to score total, though. That's my issue. Is if Walter hits for 30, that's so many points Houston has to put on the board.
I just don't want to count Houston out. I think they can survive.
You have so much respect they can win in any fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I respect that. If you're Houston, I would assume the number one priority is trying to do anything you can to limit or frustrate Clayton. Yeah. Now, we've also thought that in the past. It's easier to do with big men. But we've thought that in the past, and then coaches will flip it and be like, oh, we'll just let him get 40 and limit everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
What would you do if you're...
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit, plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer. So that doesn't really seem to be Houston's thing. Like, even... I guess yesterday, for the most part of the game, Auburn was blitzing like ball screens, kind of. And I think that Houston was blitzing a lot of ball screens yesterday too. And I think they are going to double and make Clayton. He's going to see 2 off ball screens, I think, for most of this game. And the thing that hurt Auburn in the last game is that guys like Hall were catching it up top and making plays, and Elijah Martin was catching it at a certain spot and making plays. So, then Auburn tried to adjust a little more one-on-one coverage with Clayton, and that was absolute food, no matter who was playing defense. But I do think that Houston is going to blitz ball screens. They're going to be aggressive with their hands as they always are, and they're going to try to, beat shit up at the rim. But it's going to be tough to do because Florida has a lot of length on their team and athleticism and guys who can be physical down low. I think it's fair to say that Juwan Roberts punked Tyler Malawak in the last game. I don't know. I haven't seen Florida's bigs get punked. They're physical. They might play bad, but they're physical.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Condon was awful, but he wasn't punked.
Yes.
That's a fair distinction.
They're going to go from playing an Auburn team that had crazy aura and was like, the whole vibe was crazy, to a Florida team that looks like they don't care half the time. Like, I don't know, or excuse me, Houston's going to go, or where was I going with that?
Where are we?
Florida's going to go from playing an Auburn team that had crazy aura and they don't care half the time, to a Houston team that's the complete opposite of Auburn and won't get in their own way. And I think if Houston's gonna win the game, that's their best bet.
That's a good point. Houston's a team that's always on the same page at all times. Togetherness, same page, toughness, all those little funny quirks that you say about teams like Houston.
Yeah.
While also being like the best 3-point shooting team in the sport. I know it's low volume. I get it. Thank you for the YouTube comment telling me about how low volume it is. I don't care. They hit 40% of the 3-point shots, and they're the best defense in the sport. So like, they're gonna make things tough, and they're gonna knock down shots. And Crier's a guy that can knock down shots. We talk about Elijah Martin's experience. Crier is a national champion. Like he knows what it takes to do this. And they have other guys that can make shots.
Yeah.
What?
I don't like giving like he is a national champion by definition. I'm kind of culminating this, but like, how many minutes did he play in that national championship?
I don't know.
Not many.
Let's look it up.
Not many. You can't get behind either team, can you?
I'm really struggling. I wanted Duke Auburn so bad.
Me too. Had 2 futures on them, and somehow I have to place a new bet on Monday.
I had so many talking points ready for Duke Auburn, and now I'm just scrambling. Like, is Walter Clayton good? Like, he's obviously awesome. Okay, hold on. You get what I'm saying, though? All right, in the national championship game, LJ Cryer played 1 minute and was 0 for 1 from the floor. In the Final Four that season, he had 2 minutes against Houston, 0 for 1 from the floor.
Okay.
So I don't know if Final Four experience is going to matter too much to LJ Cryer, maybe, although everyone now has a game of experience here. But there's a difference between Elijah Martin, who had 26 in the Final Four at Florida Atlantic against San Diego State, showing up being like, I'm going to punch y'all in the mouth and get 10 before the second media timeout, than it is LJ Cryer just like being good. He's doing that because he's good.
Who's better?
Cryer.
It's also not San Diego State anymore.
So fuck that experience.
But I'll rock with Elijah Martin.
I wonder
in this game.
Really?
In this game, I will.
Oh. Houston might win then.
Because you don't want me on your side?
No, you like hook yourself to Elijah in this spot.
I do. Yeah, I loved what I saw from him last game.
I do too. That's fair. That's fair.
He's the only one on the team that brings any energy. The rest look like extremely nonchalant. Not that, it's working, but I would say even in the intros, and I'm a big before the game guy. I love figuring out who's going to win before tip off. Florida had the most boring intros of the 14 besides Elijah. Elijah's was electric. No, the rest of them were just giving handshakes out. Like, we could have skipped that.
Who has the better backcourt?
Florida,
Walter Clayton.
Who has the better front court?
Houston.
Ooh. Florida.
Wash?
Florida.
Wash.
I think it's Florida.
I mean, the crazy conversation we want to have here is like JoJo Tuggers is a great defender, but also like this front court is Javier Francis.
Who's the best player in the front court? Roberts.
Roberts.
You take him over anybody on Florida?
Yeah.
I think that's the right answer.
I think the next 3 are Florida players, though.
Yeah. Okay. Better coach?
Sampson.
Yeah, definitely there. Can we do a first
Better
ever
person?
First ever sleepers? That one's actually tough. Can we do a first ever sleepers live snake draft? Draft players you trust most in this game. You can have the first pick.
I'm about to draft a Duke player.
You can have the third pick.
I got Walter.
All right, I have Elijah Martin.
I got LJ Cryer.
You get another pick.
I got Juwan Roberts.
You go double Houston. I have Uzan.
I like that pick.
Bounce back game, I think, for him.
This is where I lose the draft. But Thomas Hall.
Okay, I'm also going to stop us there because I feel like we're into players none of us trust at this point.
I was going to get back to like Emmanuel Sharp. I feel like I was feeling good where I was at.
You could get there. Yeah. He wouldn't have made it to you.
Okay.
I was going to take Emmanuel with my second pick instead.
Okay. I was really backing on you didn't know who Emmanuel Sharp was.
Portnoy had a bet on it.
Uzan's been struggling. How concerned are you as someone that I feel like wants to pick Houston here? Why do you want Houston here?
I don't want Houston. But I think that I don't know. Maybe I just think that Houston. I feel like people feel like Houston doesn't have a chance in this one.
I mean, they pick them. I think everybody
Is
thinks they
it
got a
Pick'em?
chance.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's
No, I mean I'm riding with Walter Clayton. I just if there's gonna be a team that beat, I thought that Florida would beat Duke. Like I think Houston has a better chance of beating Florida than Duke does.
what?
You picked Houston to beat Duke.
What?
You
Yeah,
picked these games right.
yeah, I know.
And then you said, I thought Florida would beat Duke.
I'm saying if Duke played Florida, I think I would pick Florida more easily than I would with Florida and Houston.
Explain that one to me.
I can't.
Okay.
I'm really confused.
Me
Okay.
It's
Should we just get to predictions?
Yes.
Can I get one bold prediction from each of you on something that will happen in this game?
Technical foul on both coaches.
I think Milos gets tossed.
Why?
He was on edge. He was the only Houston player that was on edge that whole game, and I think he's going to be the one to go guard Walter, and it's going to be frustrating for him.
Okay. I do think Todd Golden will get attacked early, like really early. And I think there will be a buzzer beater to win this game that comes from a non-Walter Clayton Jr. player.
Ooh, Elijah.
Just a non-Walter
It's a
Clayton.
non-Walter Clayton.
Just a non-Walter Clayton Jr. player. Let's get to predictions. Dion, you can go first.
I like Florida. I've been trying to convince myself of Houston. I want to be in the crowd doing this with them. Houston fans put on a special performance, but like Florida.
Florida and another Walter Clayton 30 ball to cap off the greatest run by a college basketball guard
It
in
doesn't
tournament history.
feel right that we're all on the same side of this. Because
Just join us.
you made all the points for Houston this whole video.
I don't know. I thought I was playing my role.
Can I provide a spin on why it is good for all on the same side?
Why?
We haven't been all weekend.
That's actually
That's
really
true.
true.
We're back.
We've been
boys.
on car time all weekend.
We're back.
Go Gators. I got Florida. We all have Florida. I expect this to be a classic. Thanks for watching all year. We'll have a recap up of this when we're home, probably. Unless we do it at like 3 in the morning.
We could.
We could. We have to go to the airport after. We'll see.